Hello and welcome to Winter Disco Tabletop Games, where we're looking at Games Workshop and Forge World pre-orders for the 30th of January 2020. And the big one this week is, of course, Dark Angels Codex supplement coming out and their Combat Patrol, but also, I guess, another wave of Space Marine Primaris. Some new ones, some old ones. We've also got a new Necron model, some Warhammer Underworlds models, and some other little bits and pieces. So let's get stuck straight into it. First off, of course, we have the Codex supplement Dark Angels for $49 Australian, which seems to be around $50 for the Codex supplements. Of course, this one is Dark Angels. You can see that in the contents. If you can see, it's a bit grainy, but I have a bit of background, the showcase for about 10 pages, and then the rules for about half the book. So you will get a lot of, I guess, successor chapters, how to play Combat Patrol, some Battleforge rules, the Army rules, Match Play rules, a whole bunch of Crusade relics, and some extra rules for that, and then the data sheets, war gear, and then a quick little rules reference. So pretty stock standard. If you've got the other books, you know sort of what you're going to get. And of course, it's Dark Angels, so you're going to have a lot of images with banners and heraldry and a whole bunch of other stuff in there. So let's have a look, see what we're getting there. 23 data sheets. And you get rules that are available for Dark Angels chapter and their successors, the history of the Dark Angels, a detailed description of chapter organization and iconography, which is always one of my favorite parts of these books, a whole bunch of new stratagems, the Interromancy Psychic Discipline new relics, optional secondary objectives, and then rules for Crusade, so a whole bunch of extra stuff, the usual agendas, requisitions, battle traits, honorifics, and Crusade relics, and rules for hunting the Fallen. Because if you're a Dark Angels player, it's what you're going to do. You're going to hunt the Fallen. So that's the book there for $50 Australian. We also have the Collector's Edition. Basically the same book, different cover. We do have a little slight different. The pages are embossed on the edges. You get a little, what are we going to call that? Little bookmark. It's $110, so double the amount. The rules are the same, but, you know, it's just a little bit nicer. We also have the data cards for the Dark Angels, $28. These is pretty much stock standard now for when a new codex comes out, you get a data card pack for $28. So in this one, you get 7 core stratagems, 17 Dark Angel stratagems, 1 Smite Psychic Power, and 6 Psychic Power cards for the Interromancy, which is basically interrogation for the chaplains, I guess. And that's that discipline for them. So there you go. 31 data cards for that, $28. Almost like $1 a card. So, you know, depends. I mean, if you do play a lot or you're a completionist and need to collect everything, then yeah, you'll probably pick this up. But all the cards themselves, or the rules, are available in various different rulebooks. So if you've got the codex and the main rulebook, you would have them already, but it's nice to have them in card form. Then we have the Combat Patrol. So this one is $230, standard price for that. As you can see, not that too many models. It seems to be lacking in model numbers compared to previous Combat Patrol boxes, but you do get a Redemptor Dreadnought. And I'm not going to go too much into my thoughts on the Combat Patrol box, but this doesn't really feel Dark Angel-y, if I'm honest. I think having a bit more something elite, something a bit more of the Deathwing or the Ravenwing would make a bit more sense because it is fairly unique to that army. So, but as we've seen, the Combat Patrol boxes seem to be about shifting models. So that is what it is. And you do get the Ugly Chaplain, which I think is the worst Chaplain model they've ever made, but that's my own opinion. So in this box, you get a Primaris Chaplain, 3 Inceptors, a Redemptor Dreadnought, 5 Primaris Intercessors, 2 Dark Angels Primaris Upgrade Sprues, and a Dark Angel Transfer Sheet. If I do get time, I will be making the cost breakdown to see what value it is. I think I already have done the maths. So it seems to be about between 30 and 40% savings if you buy them separately. Like I said, this isn't specifically Dark Angel themed, so if you want to buff up or build up your Space Marine forces, this is another option that you can. Like with all the Space Marine ones, I think they're all viable options for each different army. So like I said, doesn't have to be Space Marines. I was going to say Space Angels, doesn't have to be Dark Angels. So that's $230 Australian. We also have this one, which they didn't really talk about. This is Heroes of the Chapter, $125 for a couple of models. These are, I think this is a sprue that was in Dark Imperium and the various different starter box sets, which for a while, or probably for a couple of months now, you couldn't actually get these models. And they're finally released, which is not too bad, I think. $125, you get a combat squad, 5 Primaris, an Ancient, and 2 Lieutenants, I think, which is a little strange. But I think it's a good one to have. If you didn't get Indomitus and weren't able to get hold of those models, you still have the options of particularly the Chapter Ancient, which is kind of cool. So to tell you exactly what's in it, 5 Primaris Intercessors with bolt rifles, including a Sergeant, 1 Primaris Lieutenant with Mastercrafted Auto Bolt Rifle, 1 Primaris Lieutenant with Power Sword, and 1 Primaris Ancient. Yeah, models that you couldn't get anywhere. There's also the transfer sheet, which has 580 decals, which is pretty good. Yeah, I don't think this is that bad. You know, we saw last week, we had the Chosen of Mortarion or Chosen of the Death Guard. I can't remember. I had the 3 models. That was like $105. Very cool models. But it looks like they've taken the sprues that you got in Dark Imperium and now finally released them, which is very nice. So yeah, if I didn't have these models, I think I've got multiple copies of these models. I think it'd be, not a bad investment. We're also now getting into the new models. So first up, let's look at the Primaris Eradicators. This is the multi-part box for $84. Before, you could only get them in the easy to build, I guess, in the Indomitus box set, but you can finally get them. So a few different ways you can build them, straight up with the multi-melter or a heavy multi-melter. Like I said, 3 models in here. That's the standard squad size for these kind of, I guess not quite elite, but specialized squads in Space Marine Army now. And they're decked out in Gravis armor, which is super chunky, and I love it. And I want there to be more Gravis armor models because I just love the chunkiness of it. So 3 models, like I said, some cool things in here, and we'll have a look at the sprues in a second. So this is a 122 part kit for 3 models, which is crazy. What you get, you can do multi-rifles or a heavy multi-melter, which is awesome. And let's just check this out. I'm going to highlight it first. There are 20 heads in this kit. 20 heads. 20. Why? I don't understand why there are so many heads. I've got no problem with getting more Space Marine heads. I really don't. But I feel that this was just, they had some room on the sprue. Well, we'll just chuck some more heads in. Like, I'm not complaining. I think having extra heads is awesome. I would have preferred if they also threw in some extra shoulder pads just for, you can put them on, other models. I think that would be kind of cool. But 20 heads. Shame we can't see the front side of them, but that's fine. On the sprue itself, you got all the models. So lots of little detailed bits to hook in. Lots of purity seals. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 in there, a couple in there, an extra little attachment there. What else have we got on this sprue? This seems to be more of the multi-melter themselves. So the multi-melter guns look like they are double-sided, so you need to clip them together instead of just one single piece. And then you've got the barrels and different bits, which seem to be 2 pieces as well. So it's fairly detailed, intricate kit. And I may pick up some. I may pick up a kit. I do love the backpacks, very chunky backpacks as well. So that's why there's probably so many pieces, because you have the guns themselves split into various different parts. The backpacks are split into probably even more. Yeah, because you got the multi-melter attachments on the backpack. So the backpacks themselves are like 3 parts, and then you've got all the cabling and things. So, various different pieces, but I think there's a whole bunch of variation in there, particularly the helmets. The fact that you can get 10 of the 20, is that right? Let's read that again. Yeah, 20 heads. Amazing. I think that's really cool. So yeah, $84. Pick it up just for the heads. That's kind of cool. Now we've got one of my favorite releases of the week. Finally got them. The multi-part Bladeguard Veterans for $84. 3 models, tons of parts. There's so much variation in this. So let's have a look at the description here. So it's 78 part kit. So not like the Eradicators, which is 122, which is crazy. But you got multiple heads, different tilting plates, pistols, holster variants, and a whole bunch of different kind of pistols there, which is very cool. So they're each armed with a mastercrafted power sword and a storm shield, and you can have the storm shield in a variety of ways. So let's have a look at the sprues. 3 sprues. Looks like each sprue is an individual model, which is kind of cool. And you can see here already 5 different tilting plates. So you're getting lots and lots of cool stuff in the kit itself that you can use in other things. I do want to do a whole like elite force. So having tilting plates and various different bits and pieces is definitely going to benefit that. So on the second one here, a whole bunch of different heads. We've got 7 heads right here, which is pretty cool. Again, the model itself is really split up. Not that much opportunity, well, for this one anyway, to customize it or modify it. It is what it is. I think with the stances themselves, that's okay. The options are around the heads and the loadouts, how you have the arm, because in this particular sprue, there's 4 arms on here. So it's kind of interesting how they've split that up. And then on the final sprue, again, multiple arms that would cover all the different kind of kits, multiple guns, various different bits and pieces. Very cool looking kit. I've been looking forward to this for a long time because I think the Bladeguard Veterans were some of the better models in the Indomitus kit. So I'm very keen to build that out. And like I said, I'm very interested in having sort of an elite force. However I do that. But the core of it will be Bladeguard Veterans. $84 for that. Australian, that is. Now we got the Storm Speeders. 3 variations. Quickly run through them. We've got the Hail Strike, the Thunder Strike, and the Hammer Strike. So $110 each. It's actually the same box, just different weapon loadouts. That's something to be very aware of. How they sell these, I'm not sure. They've got them in 3 different boxes. I'm assuming that if we look through, it comes in a Storm Speeder. So there we go. And if we go to this one, it'll be Storm Speeder. So it's the same box. They just marketed them slightly differently. Chunky speeders, very, very nice. I have bought one of them on pre-order, so we'll see how we go. I don't think I'll buy all 3 to do different loadouts, but I'll do an unboxing and build guide and sort of put together the different models and see if we can magnetize it, do something. So the sprues themselves, obviously one of them is a very chunky thing. It's almost like a little rhino. Not a rhino. What are they called? Not redemptors. I can't remember what the tanks are called. Impulsors, I think. Yeah, it looks like a tiny little impulsor. Very cute. So yeah, like, there's actually another sprue in here. So this is interesting. Looks like 2 sprues. So we have the main chassis, all the different attachments for the chassis, but there's definitely a sprue not included in these images, which has all the Marines and a few other bits and pieces that we don't have. That's fine. So it's 94 component kit, and like I said, you can build it as the Hammer Strike or the Thunder Strike, and it comes on a 90mm base with a flying stand. You may want to make your own flying stand because it might not work too well. Yeah, so definitely is some sprues missing from the images, but we get the idea. So 110. Let's have a look through here too. Yeah, they've done the same here. Let me just double check. This is 94. This is 94 too. I just want to double check in case they were doing different things. So this is part of the different loadout that you can get. Sort of an autocannon, I think it is, a las gun, and then a tri-melter gun, which looks cool. I think having that on a gun platform would be freaking awesome. And then finally the Hammer Strike. So each in their own box. You can build whatever you want out of the boxes. Don't know the restrictions on, for example, the missile launchers here, if that's going to be completely one piece that you can take off and then replace it with the variant launchers on top. Not 100% sure, but we'll see. So 110 for each of those. And I've got one, so we will do it on the channel. Now we have the Necron Psychomanta, which I think is one of the creepiest 40k models. Yeah, giant skull face. What can you say? Like, what more could you want? It's so creepy. I'm pretty excited to get hold of this one. It looks fairly straightforward to put together. It's all on a single sprue, with that giant face that you can see through the back there. That's super cool. Yeah, little digital face. Very, very creepy. So we've got some close-ups here. Yeah, it looks really straightforward to put together. Yeah, the skull's made up a few bits. The body itself's a few bits. Yeah, nothing overly difficult. It's just a matter of doing some finger gymnastics to get everything in there together. So it is a 28 part kit, which is kind of cool. Comes on a 40mm base. Nice. Yep, $55 Australian. Pretty standard for a elite model, single model in Australia. So I think that works out to be $20 to $30 US, under £20 UK, I believe. Check your local prices. I just don't have the official pricing at the moment. So usually go off the Games Workshop website, and pre-orders outside Australia have not come up yet. So there you go, new Necron model. I like it. I've picked it up. We'll do an unboxing and build on the channel. Then we have some Warhammer Underworld's Diechasm. We have Kargra's Ravengers. $60 Australian, so the price for these have gone up. It used to be 50, then they went up to 55, and now they're 60. So that's just what's going to happen. Price goes up. It's life. So we've got 4 models in the kit here. We have a bit of a Chaos Sorcerer. So these 2 are Sisters, and then 3 Chaos Warriors. I like the 2 Chaos Warriors on the left-hand side, not so much the one at the back. Yes, it is very reminiscent of the green dude from many years ago. I can't remember his name, but it was a classic Warhammer Fantasy Battles Chaos Warrior model. And that very stance. And I guess that's probably what I'm thinking when I look at it. Makes me feel it's a little bit dated, or it's just been updated without really changing the pose, because the armor is very, very similar as well. Hey, each to their own. I know people have said in the comments actually like it. Hey, that's fine. We can have different opinions. So here we go, a bit of close up. Like really cool, interesting Chaos models. The warriors themselves don't feel as, I don't want to say bloated. The current warrior kit seems a bit, the models seem to be wearing too much stuff. I think the cloaks and the shields are too big, but in this case, the proportions seem to make sense. So I think it's definitely a good bit of an upgrade. And as usual, they come with their own funky bases, which is very nice. Very Chaos. That's actually a really cool base. I wish they would release a whole bunch of series of bases just on various different themes. I think that'd be super cool. There we go. So 4 models in there. You also get a whole bunch of cards. So you get 62 cards for the game. And if you do know about Warhammer Underworlds, generally you're going to want to buy all the warbands themselves so you can get all the cards. They got unique cards in there that you can't get anywhere else. So $60 for that warband. Next up, we're going into the books. So we've got Gate of Bones, the paperback. That's the second book of the Dawn of Fire novel series, and that has come out this week. There we go. It's still following the Indomitus Crusade, and with this new series, they've sort of retroactively retconned the Dark Imperium series, or the Plague War series, which is a little strange to sort of get it, the timeline all right. So there you go. As the Indomitus Crusade spreads across the Imperium Sanctus, the cardinal world Galathalamor is caught in the grip of war. But when an ancient evil is unearthed, entire crusade is threatened. Ooh, creepy. I haven't actually read any yet. I might pick up a few of these books at some point. Have a little holiday and just sit down and read for ages. And of course, we get the limited edition, leather-bound, gold-plated, adamantium and reinforced version for $95. So expensive, but it looks good. I don't have an issue with the books themselves being at that price. It's a collector's edition, so it is what it is, and it's leather-bound, and it has a ribbon, and it's gold-leafed on the edges. So $95 if you're a collector. We also have Saturnine, which is the Siege of Terror Book 4, which is now in paperback for 27 Australian dollars. Very nice. I haven't caught up to this one yet. I might pick up a copy and begin reading it. Then we also have Deacon of Wounds, which is part of the Warhammer horror series, and this is a hardback. So just briefly, in the harshest of times, even the most faithful can walk in dark places, as Archdeacon Ambrose discovers when drought and plague sweep through his city. Creepy. Creepy. Warhammer horror. I haven't read anything. Let me know if you have read any. And of course, we do have White Dwarf 460, which came out yesterday, which was Friday. We do have the Index Astartes for the Emperor Spears. They are essentially an official chapter now, so there you go. A thing on Sons of Bahamut, which is cool. Battle Ports, of course. Tale of Four Warlords, and a few other things. So, a quick look. We do have some more on the Charadon campaign for 40k, which is cool. I actually found the Flashpoint of Angrenon. I can't remember exactly what it was called. That was really cool. It was kind of like a little crusade book in itself. A whole bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to go too much into them. I am probably going to pick up a copy at some point in the next week, and we may open it and have a bit of a read on the channel, because why not? So that's $15 standard price. That's what you get for White Dwarf. So onto Forge World. We have some Blood Bowl models this week. Scroll half height for $44. This is an undead dude. I'm not going to go too much into Blood Bowl. We don't cover much Blood Bowl on the channel at all, so just letting you be aware that these models are available. So scroll half height for Blood Bowl. We also have Gretchen Watcher for Blood Bowl. Cool, interesting model with the chains. I think you can do some really cool things with this, converting it into 40k. And then finally, we have the Wolfenberg Crypt Stealers Passed On Team Collection, which basically is the Crypt Stealers and then half height added in. Oh, and Gretchen Watcher as well. So you basically get them all in. I don't think there's really a discount there. I didn't check. So that's it. That's all we got for this week. Obviously, the winners are the new Space Marines, Dark Angels Codex, new Space Marine models, multi-part kits, Storm Speeders, and such and such and such. Let me know what you're excited for below. We will be having one of the Storm Speeders, the Bladeguard Veterans, and I bought something else. I can't remember what I bought. Just did it before the video. So we're doing unboxings and some, build along guides for the channel coming up in the next couple of weeks. So if you are interested in these videos, please hit that like button and that subscribe button so we can get closer and closer to 1,000. We are almost 130 subs away from 1,000 subs. Ooh, very exciting. So yeah, and definitely comment below about what you like from this week's pre-orders. So thank you for watching, and check back next week for the next pre-order video, and I will see you next time.